Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this down. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of this, and I'm back here with another video. And today we are doing What If Naruto had Aokiji's powers. Now, this series doesn't get as many views as the other ones, but honestly, if you guys are gonna give like a lot of attention when I bring up thumbnails and stuff, then you might as well just watch this, okay? Just enjoy, because I will go a little crazy. This is when the time skip happens. Naruto's power is going to be a bit unclear, but in the war, like, which is coming up very fast, because I'm going to speed things up, is when he will show off everything. But that won't happen in this part, unfortunately. But it will be pretty long. I think about 1 hour long. And if it's not, well, still enjoy. And yeah, let's just get right into it. I hope you don't mind any background noise. And let's go. So last part we started off with Naruto facing Shukaku with Gamabunta. He took care of Gaara and tried to befriend him. Then after the attack, Naruto learned that Hiruzen died, and for a while he was actually really sad about it. Now during the following days, he was a bit mad, and this is when Jiraiya came to cheer him up since, you know, he's his godfather and all. Not that Naruto knows that yet. And they also needed a new Hokage, so he came over and asked Naruto to go on a mission with him. Naruto decided to take Haku with him, and as he said to Ayame, she gave him a new cloak, which kind of resembles the one that Aokiji wears in One Piece, but not really. It doesn't have, like, you know, the military stuff, but it's a nice cloak. And on the way, Naruto learned the Rasengan, and soon met the Akatsuki. He also even killed Kisame, and destroying Samehara in the process. Sasuke even heard of this and ran over to find Naruto, fighting his brother, and he tried to interfere, but got knocked out. Long story short, Itachi ran away, and Naruto, Jiraiya, and Haku went over to travel, you know, to find Tsunade. And when they did, Naruto beat her, and she agreed to come to Konoha as the Hokage, and she was super impressed with Naruto's powers. Then during these travels, Naruto made a new jutsu called the Rasen Shuriken, and then he went back to Konoha officially. Then he hung out with this girl, Ayame, because I know you guys are getting really tired of me saying the name Ayame, because it seems like he's a bit obsessed with her, which he kind of is. That's kind of the whole point of the story. And then he went to meet Sasuke in the hospital, but they fought, and now Sasuke truly knew Naruto was stronger. So after their fight, Sasuke jumped off the building and ran away, leaving Naruto confused. What the hell was that about, thinks Naruto. Seeing his brother again must have brought up some old feelings, said Kurama to Naruto. Kakashi would then tell Sakura and Naruto to just go home, and he'll talk to Sasuke. Naruto would say okay, as he then leaves for somewhere far away so he can train. He would train on his ice constructs for hours, and he actually developed a new move. He doesn't know what to call it yet, but it is quite dangerous, so he won't use it on people he doesn't want to kill, because it's guaranteed to kill. And by the time he's done, he has gotten a bit more control over his powers at this point. He's just getting more in touch with them. Then he would go home and just sleep till the next day. The next day, Naruto will be walking around, and he sees people not looking at him with scorn. And he says, well, that's new. Up to this point, people knew everything that Naruto had done. Not only did he defeat a rampaging beast to protect them, he also ventured out with a Sannin to bring them a Hokage. So there were people who still hate him, but some people, you know, kind of give him respect now because you can't ignore it. And as he's just walking around, in front of him appears Neji. Oh, hey, what's up, says Naruto. Naruto, Sasuke has left the village, says Neji. Naruto would then be surprised, asking what the hell is going on, and he and Neji would just run to the Hokage's office. There they would find Choji, Kiba, and Shikamaru just waiting, and Naruto also sees Haku at Tsunade's side. Hey, where have you been? Asked Naruto. Tsunade would then say she opted to be part of my special Anbu force, but I refused and instead just made her my assistant, just like Shizune is, but she's way more fit for combat. Wait, where is Shizune, by the way? Asked Naruto. Tsunade would then say that she's feeding Tonton, which is the pig, adorable by the way, and she would say, anyway, I'm sure you heard that Sasuke has left. I need you guys to go and retrieve him. By the way, Naruto, take this. She would then throw him a Jonin vest, and he caught it, surprised, and so is everyone else. Tsunade says that it's obvious at this point that he is the strongest person in this village because he actually already beat the strongest person in this village, which is Tsunade, because she's the freaking Hokage. Although that is debatable, I'm not gonna go into that right now. She's a Hokage, okay? And Naruto beat her. And hearing that Naruto beat Tsunade, everyone would be kind of shocked at this fact, and she would say that regardless, he is now a Jonin. And Haku smiles happily for Naruto, who puts on the vest, under his coat and everything. And then they head out immediately. As they leave the village, everyone else is just like jumping around from tree to tree. Naruto is gliding on ice, going on ahead of all of them. Damn, I wish I could do that, says Kiba. It would make things easier, says Shikamaru. Now, as they keep talking and going forward, they reach the Sound 4. Instantly, Naruto enters his two-tailed state and catches up to one of the Sound 4, which was the girl who could use the flute. And as soon as he touched her with his hand, just like barely, she froze up and shattered to pieces. This would shock the other Sound 4, as they did not expect for one of them to be dealt with so fast. And using this to their advantage, everyone just attacks them, surprising them. However, while they try to take care of the Sound 4, the guy with two heads, he kind of splits up and runs the other way with the box, and this allows them to be on the run again, and they regain that advantage. So they're still in a group, but they've distracted the team, so now they can move again. From here on out, everything will go as in the original, except Shikamaru will not be fighting the Flute Girl, as she is freaking dead, and they keep chasing them until eventually Sasuke ends up getting out of the container and running away with Naruto chasing him. Now, everyone else is taking care of the others, the other Sound 4, and soon Naruto ends up on a playing field, still chasing Sasuke, and he meets Kimimaro. You will not go any further, says Kimimaro. However, as he says this, Naruto appears right by, just slamming his head into the ground, as he starts freezing his body. Kimimaro would pop out bones to stab Naruto, but it does nothing as Naruto's body just reacts and shifts out of the way of his bone blades. How is that possible? Now, as Kimimaro freezes to nothing, Naruto death stares him, saying, I'm someone you can't afford to mess with. He would then crush Kimaru's head, which is now frozen, and his entire body just shatters to nothing in an instant, and Naruto just keeps running after Sasuke until they reach the Valley of the End. Sasuke and Naruto would face off, as Sasuke asks why Naruto followed him. It's my mission, says Naruto. That's it? That's really it? Yells Sasuke. Yeah, so if you could just come over, asks Naruto. Sasuke would then get mad, gritting his teeth as he says, you always thought you were better than me, and now you won't even let me leave so I can be stronger. You're a parasite that's eating away at me. Naruto would then say, interesting point of view, but I didn't orchestrate anything to ruin your life because, screw this, just come back home, alright? Sasuke would then laugh, saying, that place was never my home, and it was barely yours. You literally have no reason to stay there. Both you and I are outcasts, Naruto. You're right, says Naruto, but I have some people who like me, and that's all I need. Sasuke would then start running at Naruto, pissed, entering his curse-marked second form, and he would land where Naruto was, and they start duking it out, and he starts attacking him. But soon Naruto would freeze his feet, holding him in place. I don't want to fight you, Sasuke. One wrong move, and I could kill you. Sasuke would then break free, going to kick Naruto in the head, but he ends up hitting an ice shield. The ice shield would then break, with Naruto backing away, as this is when Sasuke appears behind him, going to stab him in the back, using his claws. Naruto would then jump into the air, avoiding him while he stabs at nothing. Sasuke would then look up, shooting a fireball at him, and Naruto just kicked the air, using his wind release to avoid the huge attack. Then he would kick the air again, going towards Sasuke as he slammed him down, which breaks off a bit of the ground like the statue they're standing on. Naruto would then reaffirm and saying that, like he said before, he's not going to fight Sasuke. He would be holding his arms down, just like holding him down, activating the two-tail state, and Sasuke would then kick Naruto off, blasting towards him with the Chidori. Sasuke moved at his fastest speed, slamming his hand in Naruto's stomach, but as he did, he felt nothing and something grabbed him. Naruto had just trapped his hand in his stomach, and this freaked out Sasuke, as he would ask what the hell he is. He would then try to pull his hand out, and Naruto lets him, and then he falls to the ground, and quickly he gets back up panting. And then he asks, you're really not gonna fight me, are you? Naruto would then reform his stomach, saying, yeah, he really won't, and Sasuke would then just calm down, saying he really just wants to beat his brother, honestly. I mean, he does feel jealous that Naruto is stronger, but it's mostly that hate that he's projecting towards Itachi that makes him hate Naruto, because he can't get ahead of someone who's his age, so he feels weak. And Naruto would then sit down cross-legged, saying, you, Sasuke Uchiha, are not weak. I'm just stronger. I guess I'm just too jealous, says Sasuke. The two would then laugh as Naruto says, look, if you want to get better, then going to train with Orochimaru, who can barely move, will only impede you. I can turn you into an ultimate shinobi, and I can already beat Orochimaru, so I seek help from him again when he can't even beat me. Sasuke would then say this actually makes a lot of sense and it's pretty simple. And as he then says that he'll return to the village, this is when they would the both of them would see Kakashi, Guy, Iruka, and they see them coming out into the valley, and Naruto will wave at them, confirming that Sasuke has decided to stay. Now, seeing this would make everyone happy as the two boys would then approach them, and then they go back to Konoha. On the way, Naruto is told that all the other kids have been hurt in battle, but they won their battles, and now they're being taken back to Konoha, so that's awesome. So when Naruto arrives back with Sasuke, Tsunade sees him in his office, and for almost committing treason, Sasuke was to be put on house arrest for a week and have his Sharingan sealed. He understood why this had to be done and was just happy he wasn't put to death or anything because he still has ambitions. Now, while he's on probation, Naruto will be doing A-rank missions alongside Shikamaru, which actually deepens their bond a bit. And Shikamaru hopes that if Naruto ever becomes that high in power, he can help him out because they're just kind of have that relationship now. They've fought together, so that automatically brings them closer. And Naruto pushes Shikamaru to actually take his job more seriously because Shikamaru gets to see things that wouldn't happen in a safe village, and he realizes that stuff like that could happen to his family, and his dad could die. So he opts to work with Naruto more so he can perform better under pressure and come up with plans faster. So we cut to one day when Naruto was talking to Jiraiya, and Naruto says, I don't need to train for the Akatsuki. I already beat one of them. Jiraiya would then say, well, you never know. Besides, don't you want to find out what you can do when you're really pushed to the edge? Naruto would actually think about this, saying that he will accept Jiraiya's offer for full-on training for a few years. And this is them talking about the trip of taking a break for about 2-3 years. I don't know, man. People keep saying 2 years, but some people say 3 years. I'm going to say 3 years. I just like saying that it's 3 years of training. It's awesome, okay? I don't care. So before he leaves, he goes to visit Sasuke and tells him to come along. After all, he did promise to make him stronger, so this is the perfect chance. Sasuke agrees, obviously. Then he visits Ayame and tells her not to miss him too much, and now since he's being more accepted by the villagers and he's feeling extra confident, he asks her to be his girlfriend, and she says yes, and then they would kiss or whatever, and Naruto hates that he has to leave her now, especially now since they've confessed to each other, but it doesn't really matter because they're going to be back together soon, so yeah. Besides, he wants her to stay alive, so to do that, he has to protect her from the Akatsuki, so he has to get stronger. So Jiraiya and Naruto as well as Sasuke then go to Tsunade's office to tell her about their trip, and the probation has passed for Sasuke. He has his Sharingan back, and Tsunade would say, you do realize you're taking away our most valuable asset to the leaf, right? Jiraiya would then say, you'll be fine. Besides, after what Naruto did to Akatsuki, they won't bother anyone for a while. Tsunade would then look at the group who is eager to leave, and she says fine, they can leave. And then they would head out of the village. But before they do that, Sasuke sees Sakura at the gates, and he apologizes for leaving her just on the freaking street, knocked her out. But he still does not hold any feelings for her, and his face shows this. And all she sees from Sasuke is pity. And this is when she realizes that Sasuke just can't love him no matter what she tries, and it won't matter. It wasn't the curse mark affecting him, he just doesn't like her. Be safe. Be safe, you two, says Sakura. Sasuke and the team would then leave as she turns around wiping her tears, thinking, come on, get it together. They're gonna get stronger. It's about time I catch up. We then zoom up into the sky as the wind blows over the village, and the hidden leaf just kind of changes, and we see it change as different buildings are put up, and Tsunade's face is now on the whole Kage monument. And now 3 years, just like that, 3 years have passed. So, the village guards would be talking when 3 men approach them, and they get on guard. Stay on... Oh, it's you guys. Man, you have grown. Naruto would then say, what, you thought I stayed the same after 3 years? Well, your attitude is still the same, says Sasuke. Lightning would then crackle between the two boys as they stare at each other with hate, and Jiraiya would then smack them on the head as he apologizes for the guards having to subject them to this, and they say it's fine. And the 3 would then enter the village and breathe in the air as Naruto would run upon a pole, arriving at the top, and he squats down overlooking the village. Man, this place has not changed one bit. Well, except for that. He would then point at Tsunade's head on the Hokage monument and smile happily, and Sasuke would then tell him to get down because Sakura is here, and he does. He and Sasuke would then say out to Sakura as she just blushed seeing how much Sasuke has grown, because she still has that, has feelings for him, but she's trying to put it aside to become a good shinobi. And she also notices how tall Naruto is. I'm gonna make Naruto as tall, as potentially tall as Aokiji or Kuzan can be. So right now he's actually pretty tall. And despite his lean figure, he's actually grown more muscular. I will reveal their abilities as we go along, okay? So just don't get mad at me. They did get OP. No lie, they did get really OP. So, yeah. Naruto was actually taller than Jiraiya at this point, and Sakura would then bring the boys to Tsunade, and Jiraiya, of course, follows. When they get to Tsunade's office, she's surprised to see how much their boys have grown, and it honestly feels like barely any time has passed since they left. It just kind of happened, and Naruto would then yell, "Hey Sensei, why are you hiding outside?" Kakashi would then peek in from the outside of the window, smiling as Naruto would then wave at him, and he enters. "Damn, Naruto, you changed a bit." Tsunade would then say, "Yeah, I would like you to check just how much." And Jiraiya would then laugh as he taps Kakashi on the shoulder, whispering, "Don't get too close to Naruto. Just don't. Just a bit of advice." He would then teleport away as Kakashi wonders what he means, but he's also kind of freaking scared. So we cut to Team 7 reunited, standing in front of Kakashi, and Kakashi would then hold up the bell, saying, "You know the drill, right? What's the objective?" The three would then yell teamwork as Sasuke and Sakura appear in front of him instantly. Kakashi couldn't keep up at all, and Sakura then slams a punch in his chest, making him spit out blood as he's sent back, and Sasuke appears behind him using a Chidori to hit him in the back, and he poofs, and they already knew he was a shadow clone, as Naruto says, "I got it." He then disappears, reappearing with Kakashi in his hands, and he's holding him up by the Jonin vest. "It's over, Sensei." He would then quickly take the bells from Kakashi and throw it at his two teammates as they catch it. "Well, I see you haven't slept." Kakashi right now would be kind of bewildered and kind of, disoriented, because over the years, Naruto's speed has become just ridiculous. Using his wind release and he's just using his ice element, he moves literally faster than, well, the speed of light at a certain point. When he goes really fast, when he goes full on, that's how fast he can be. He actually rivals his father at this point already. So, yeah. And Naruto then helps Kakashi, regain a bit of balance. And then Kakashi concludes that all three of his students are now definitely top tier Jonin. And also, he wondered if they could actually kill him in that exercise, so he was kind of scared a bit. So they passed their test, and as they're about to leave for the day, Naruto goes to meet Ayame. Finally! Yes! 3 years. Not much for us because they're not real, and we're talking about them, but, for them, it's been really long. So they kiss, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what other stuff couples do that I've never experienced before. And because they haven't seen each other for 3 years, they hang out the entire day. And eventually Naruto goes home, and he sees how dirty it all is, so he has to clean up and then go to sleep. As he's sleeping, though, we cut to the Sand Village as an Akatsuki member is flying over, his face covered with darkness, and he smirks. The next day, when Naruto gets up, he puts on his Jonin vest and goes to just walk around the village to see if he had really changed or not. And as he's doing this, Sakura finds him and says that they have an urgent mission. Quickly, he rushes to Tsunade's office and sees Sasuke there waiting for him, along with Kakashi. And Tsunade would then say that the Sanjinjuriki has been captured from its home, and Naruto's eyes widen. "If you want us to get him back, that's easy, but can we leave right now? I thought beating them last time would be enough, but they're back already, aren't they?" "Akatsuki." Tsunade confirms that it is indeed the Akatsuki, and she lets them leave quickly and just gives them the detail, on a scroll, and tells Naruto to not let his emotions take over. And she's actually been talking with Jiraiya a bit. Naruto isn't really a hazard. He's been getting control of the Kyuubi's chakra, but still, just in case. So, yeah, he says okay, and the Team 7 just starts heading to the sand. As they get out of the village, Naruto makes a bird of ice for them, and they stand on it, and they ride it into the air, and they stick on it using chakra. "Isn't this draining you a bit?" asks Kakashi. "Oh, this is nothing, Sensei," says Sasuke. Naruto, after all those years of training, basically has no limits when using his ice now, and he barely has to infuse chakra into it. So when he does infuse chakra into it, you are dead. That's all I'm saying. When I specify that Naruto is putting chakra in his ice, just know the enemy he's fighting is fucked. We good? Okay. So yeah, the ice basically doesn't drain stamina from him at all. So the stamina drain on his ice abilities are pretty much non-existent, which is pretty terrifying because he can do a lot of things now. So Kakashi would wonder how much stronger Naruto has truly gotten, and as they keep moving forward, eventually they did have to stop, although it was hard to make Naruto do so because he controls the bird and they could fall the fuck off. But as soon as they get some rest, they finally head back out, making it to the Sand Village in only 2 days. When they arrive, Naruto lands the bird and it dissipates as they run to the walls of the village to meet someone who guides them to Tamari. Tamari then explains the situation as they go see Kankuro, and Tamari says that he has been poisoned. And so when they enter the hospital room, the team sees Kankuro just lying on the bed, super sweaty, as 2 elders are checking up on him, just checking his condition. Sakura then starts doing her job when all of a sudden Kakashi is attacked by Lady Chiyo, who is running at him all crazy. And Chiyo says, "Curse you, White Fang," you know. But as she's about to punch him, Sasuke stops the punch with the back of his sword, which he also has. Sorry to mention that. I thought that was implied. Sasuke still has his sword. It's just not the same one from the original. So as he did this would shock Lady Chiyo and Kakashi as she then steps back, and before she can say another word, Naruto explains that he is not whoever she thinks he is. And when realizing that she was wrong, she puts on a dumb old lady act, and her brother actually calls her dumb. Chiyo would then say, "This kid's actually pretty good. Just stop one of my punches with just a sword, and without hurting me." Sasuke, with this training at this point, might as well be considered a master of Kenjutsu because he has had to have that much control over it. That way he can have another chance at fighting Naruto. Everything he's gathered up all these years, it's just something that can help him measure up to Naruto, because if he doesn't, then he's going to have a whole inferiority complex, and he hates that because he's the reincarnation of Indra, and we don't like feeling weak compared to our siblings, now do we? So as Sakura is taking care of the poison, Kankuro reveals that he may have encountered Sasori, like the Sasori, the poison master, and he contracted his special poison. And hearing this would surprise Lady Chiyo, as well as leave her in disbelief. And things go as in the original, with Sakura taking, I think, 3 days to extract the poison and make a cure. Although all through this, Naruto was actually feeling pretty anxious. He really wanted to save Gaara. He kind of held it in and he waited, and Lady Chiyo noticed his frustration, wondering what the relationship is because Gaara basically is a lone child. And when Kankuro was finally cured and they're about to leave, Kankuro gives them a piece of cloth he got from Sasori, and they can help them track the Akatsuki members. Naruto is the first to leave out the door, but as he does, he hears from Kankuro, and Kankuro says, "I leave this in your hands. Save him just like you did back then." Naruto would turn back, nodding with determination as they get ready to go, and Chiyo says he wants to go. She wants to go with them, and eventually they say yes because she's actually very experienced. However, as Kakashi is about to summon his dogs, when they're outside, Naruto takes the cloth from him, and he enters KCM, shocking everyone except Sasuke. And now holding onto Sasori's cloth, he can quite literally see where he is. He kind of sensed his chakra on the cloth a little bit. I don't know, I'm just making this up just because I wanted Naruto to show off his KCM form, okay? It just looks really cool. I love that form. Then he gets out of KCM very fast because he can't control it that well yet, but he's close. Like, literally super close. He just has to use it more. And Chiyo would wonder, what was that ominous chakra? Is he... Now, as she thinks this, from below her, as well as the entire team, forms a bird of ice as they blast off into the sky, and Chiyo just manages to hang on with the help of Kakashi because she wasn't expecting that. What the hell is this kid, thinks Chiyo. So they keep blasting off, and they're moving like super fast, and as they're moving forward, they reach the forest, and they all sense something as Naruto's bird dodges a fireball. Sasuke would then turn his 3 to Momoyan, looking down as he saw Itachi. "For now, this is where we part," says Sasuke, as he would then jump off, and Kakashi follows him, and he leaves everything in Naruto's hands, saying, "I'm trusting you with this mission. Just save Gaara, Naruto. Nothing else, just save Gaara." He then jumps off, as Naruto promises, and he promises not to make a blunder, and soon they make it to the sealed cave. Sakura gets ready to punch it and get off the bird, but Naruto just shoots a massive Rasen Shuriken, not even needing to use the fox's chakra, and he basically shatters the boulder instantly. Deidara and Sasori would notice this as Naruto just busts in, looking pissed, and his whiskers are actually flaring up. "So that's him, huh?" says Deidara. As he says this, he's still sealing Gaara, along with, Sasori, But before they're done, Naruto's ice burst shatters as he appears far away from them kneeling, and he turns around revealing he's already saved Gaara. What the hell? We were warned, but to think he'd be so fast, thinks Sasori. He would then feel a cold sensation as he tells Deidara to look down, and as he does, they notice that they're frozen from the leg up. Such power. It must be him, the Ice Kage Genkai user. And the other one must be the Uchiha boy, thinks Chiyo. Chiyo knows this because during their training, the three boys went into a little bit of shenanigans and saved a lot of villages, but they still spread their name a little bit. Naruto would then say, "You will die right here and now before you can cause another mess." However, as he says this, the two would try to substitute themselves out because they know they can't break the ice, but to no avail, and Deidara will wonder why they can't do anything. Naruto would then say, "You think I'm that stupid? Well, you're touched by my ice. I'm binding you and messing with your chakra using the Nine-Tailed Fox's power. You can't escape." As he says this, the two are completely covered in ice, and Naruto walked between the two of them as they shattered to pieces on the ground, and Sakura as well as Chiyo are shocked. I thought I finally caught up to Naruto, but he's still so far ahead of me, thinks Sakura. Then how much stronger has Sasuke gotten? We then see Sasuke as he stands in front of his brother, saying, "Sensei, do not interfere, this is my fight." He then rushes forward, disappearing as he appears behind Itachi and almost cuts off his head, but Itachi ducks down just in time, getting a piece of his hair cut off, before going to elbow Sasuke in the gut. However, as he tries, Sasuke uses the momentum of his swing to do a spinning backflip over him, and as he does this, he launches just a huge fireball at Itachi, who then counters with one of his own, making a huge explosion as Sasuke then lands back down. Kakashi is pretty impressed, but guesses that Sasuke is still hiding something up his sleeve. Itachi then walks through the smoke, swinging his arm to the side as he just moves the smoke out of the way, and he comes out looking at Sasuke. "It seems that you're still not good enough, little brother." Itachi then appears behind him, stabbing him in the back, as Sasuke grunts in pain, but releasing chakra, he escapes this genjutsu immediately, and this surprises Itachi, who actually hasn't moved from where he was at all since that fireball exchange. And then Sasuke points his blade at him, as out comes a stream of lightning, which then stabs Itachi, and he begins to bleed. Sasuke's attack was actually too fast for him to read, but he knows this is a genjutsu as well, and he comes out of it. "So you noticed?" Sasuke would then say, "Of course I noticed. You would never let me get that close to you. Come meet me yourself, you coward." "It seems that you really have grown," says Itachi. He then smiles at Sasuke, which pisses Sasuke off, as he then sheathes his sword and he starts walking away, and Itachi poofs into a normal person, revealing he was never there to begin with. Kakashi would be shocked at this as he inspects the corpse of this person, and it seemed like they died from shock. We then zoom into the man's eye as we see Itachi's Sharingan open, and he's sitting down cross-legged with no partner this time because Kisame is dead, but they're still working on finding a new partner for him. He wasn't supposed to need a partner for this, so yeah. "That's right, Sasuke, get stronger," says Itachi. Sasuke and Kakashi would then start heading to their teammates as we go back to Deidara and Sasori shattering, and Sakura would then run over as Naruto puts Gaara down and she starts healing him, as does Chiyo, who inserts her chakra into Gaara, but there's no need for the full reanimation this time. Naruto even helps a little bit, using a bit of his Fox's chakra, and Gaara actually manages to be healed because they made it just barely, but they made it for, Gaara to still have a bit of Shikaku inside him, so he lives. And while they're doing this, Chiyo would ask, "Are you the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox?" I thought that was pretty obvious, but yeah, says Naruto. So her hunch was right, and now she knows why Naruto cares so much about Gaara, since they are very much alike. Now they're healing Gaara, and the ghetto statue that they were using to seal Gaara just dissipates, which is very weird. And right now I think they have. Would it be fair to say 95% of Shikaku gets taken away and Gaara still lives? Because that's still a portion of Shikaku's chakra, so that's fine, right? Yeah, if you guys don't agree, just tell me in the comments. I could just change that up to a 10%. Gaara either has 5% or 10% or 20%, because plot convenience. So, yeah. So Gaara is brought back, and he sees Naruto, which makes him very happy, as Naruto then helps him up, and Gaara thanks him. The three would then go to meet their team, and they would walk, since Gaara is still not feeling pretty good right now. He needs to rest a little bit. When they meet Sasuke and Kakashi, Naruto and Sakura would notice that Sasuke is happier, and they guess that he must have taken care of Itachi, or at least proved he can do better against him than he did last time. Team 7 then returns Gaara to the village, and Chiyo back to the village, Team 7 then returns Gaara and Shio back to their village, and this strengthens the bond between the leaf and the sand, as before Naruto leaves, he would then shake Gaara's hand, signifying that they're slowly becoming more and more like friends. So Team 7, not being in much of a hurry to return, take it slow on the flight back, and when they do arrive, the team reports the mission to Tsunade, and they're allowed to just do whatever. Sakura was going to train on her own because she realized how much weaker she is now compared to Naruto and Sasuke, and Sasuke invites Naruto to his home. However, as they talk about capturing Itachi, they would just be seen at the doorsteps of Sasuke's house when Naruto says, "So you basically beat him at half his strength? You fought him and made him retreat. How strong do you think I am compared to him?" says Sasuke. Naruto would then say, "I don't know, but I have a theory. Itachi might be sick, or at least depowered." Sasuke would then ask how he knows this and if he was sure of this, and Naruto says that when Itachi was fighting them at one point in battle, he looked like he was spitting out blood, even though Naruto didn't really hurt him that much, and it was only a little bit, but Naruto still hypothesizes that the toll of using the Mangekyo must be like taking a huge toll on him, and Sasuke would say that actually kind of makes sense because Uchiha have avoided unlocking it for years for a reason, and even if you do have it, you don't use it, you just don't. Naruto would then say, well, this means our chances of beating him are just better. Well, chances of you beating him are better. Well, I'm gonna go talk to Anime. Just like that? Asked Sasuke. Naruto would then say, what? We missed 3 years together. Maybe you should get a girlfriend too. Naruto would then run off as he finds, he wants to find Ayame, but he finds Shikamaru and Choji, and they're just talking a bit, when Naruto senses something, and he freezes something right behind him. And it was a lion as it shattered to pieces, and Naruto saw where the attack was coming from. What the hell is that? Asked Choji. I don't know, but I'm getting some payback, says Naruto. Using his wind release, he appears on the rooftop instantly, shocking Sai, and Naruto then goes to slam his fist down at his back, but Sai just barely manages to dodge, getting a cut on his cheek. Naruto, over his training period, has honed his speed, like I said. The most times he uses his powers, like when he uses his ice powers, it makes him lightning fast, and at a certain point, as fast as light. I'm not gonna say he's faster than light. Let's scratch that. That sounds like the Flash. He is as fast as Minato would be right now, like Minato in his prime. That's what I'm getting at. And he can even combine this ice power with his wind release and with the body flickering technique, which basically makes him unseen when he moves, so it's pretty OP. He's too strong, thinks Sai. Sir Danzo was right to worry. He then falls out the rooftop, but Naruto is right behind him again, and when he tries to turn around, he can't and looks down to see that his legs are frozen. Naruto would then ask him to give a reason why he shouldn't kill him right now, right this instant. This is when Haku appears, shocking Naruto as she had grown so much, and Naruto would just run and hug Haku, then blushes because she's really happy to see him, plus has a bit of feelings for him. It's complicated, I'm not going to get into that, alright? So, yeah, he says that he wanted to actually find her, but a lot of things came up, and he really wanted to just rest. She understands and then pleads with Naruto to let Sai go, and that she will take care of him. Naruto then asks why he attacked him, and Haku whispers something in his ear, shocking Naruto. This is when Shikamaru and Choji arrive, asking what the hell is going on, and Naruto says, nothing. He just wanted to test my strength as a fellow shinobi, right? He then releases Sai, glaring at him as he leaves in fear, and Shikamaru is a pretty smart guy, but even he's confused by all of this, and Naruto just has to forget it, because it doesn't matter. What's gone, what's past is past. So they just part ways as Naruto tells Haku how he's been doing with Ayame before they part ways again, and she's happy for him, but also kind of sad. Haku would then say, wait, where's Zabuza's sword? Oh, I traveled back to the Land of Waves, and I put it near Zabuza's grave, but I also put a seal on it, so it should be fine. If anyone wants to touch it anyway, I'll just beat them up. Haku then gets relieved that she just says that a bunch of Jonin, including herself, are going to be tracking the Akatsuki, and by the way, yes, Haku is a Jonin. Haku then says that there have been 2 members of the Akatsuki going around mostly hunting down Jinchuriki, but they're also targeting the rich and powerful people, getting bounties and stuff like that in the leaf. Then Haku leaves to hunt the members, and Shikamaru is actually supposed to go with her, and he does, and Choji says bye to Naruto, and he wants to go eat something. Meanwhile, Naruto, instead of actually going to meet Ayame like he was going to, actually patrols around the village, and he realizes that Honestly, he wants to keep the village safe to begin with. That's why he came back. And if he actually patrols the village, that way, if anyone tries to attack, he can catch them before anything happens, obviously. So he patrols the village until night, and he sleeps and switches with Kurama. So they're on a watch, they're just watching the village. Also, by this point, not only has Naruto shown to be actually been able to put Kurama in his place, because his powers are freaking OP. He can literally freeze Kurama into an iceberg right now if he wanted to. If Kurama gets out of hand, he can do that. But it's also a good relationship because he doesn't make Kurama a slave, even though he could. There's no point in that. They're actually friends. Naruto actually almost once killed Kurama while they were in an argument and training. I'll do a flashback to it once in great detail, but not right now. So, yeah, his powers to an extent have already awakened. And you know what I mean by that. He has awakened. It's like the devil fruit thing, but it's less because he doesn't eat the devil fruit to get his powers, but he has awakened. I am getting off topic a lot today. So their relationship is different. That's all I wanted to say. Let's get back to the point. So the morning comes and we see Naruto laying on the Hokage monument, and Kurama says, "Get up, brat." Naruto would then wake up standing straight as a pillar of ice is coming up from under him, and he's still sitting down, but he's slowly being put into the clouds. Still no sign of them, huh? Kurama would then say, "Apparently not. This is why I told you to master my power before we got here. It would be really useful." The ice pillar would then shrink as Naruto lands back down. He says he's really close to mastering it, like literally super close. He just needs to work on it a bit more. So he would start walking off the monuments as a stair, just like a stair of ice, is formed below his legs as he takes every step, almost as if the ice was moving to accommodate his needs. But Naruto just has that much control over his powers now. So he made it down as it was very early in the morning, so most people weren't even up yet, except for a few shinobi. And he would just be walking around through the streets, slowly heading towards his apartment, and then he went inside and got some actual sleep. When Naruto had awoken, he was awoken by a knock, and he opened to see Uruka-sensei, who gave him a scroll containing an A-rank mission. This mission told him to basically go out and take some rogue ninja who are very powerful and may have deeper goals that might hurt the leaf. So he gets out, he gets right to it, and he goes to work. This would end up being a 3-day long mission as he finishes off all those ninjas. By the way, this is the arc about the whole, what's it called? The king of the leaf of, like, those groups of people. The girl that can kiss you and steal your chakra. That guy who's like, who can make freaking labyrinths using earth style. Those people. So that's who who's beating up. On this mission, Naruto meets Urakata, a Jinchuriki much like himself, and other weird shinobi, like I said, who he destroyed with ease, especially that girl who kisses you and takes your chakra. I fucking hate her. Anybody else? Because she pissed me off. I don't like her and her weird ass hair. So, yeah. Naruto wanted to, he wanted to bring Urakata to the village, but Urakata said that he had to stay with the student. So he suggested that he really train and deal with Saiken and like talk to Saiken because they need to be together so they can be stronger against the Akatsuki. And Kurama actually talks with Saiken in the short time that Naruto and Utakata have time to talk. So he tells Saiken to stop being so goddamn lazy and do something. And Utakata understands. So yeah. So we cut to when Naruto goes back to the village and he goes to see Tsunade. He reports the mission, saying he fought some interesting characters, and Tsunade says that right now, Sasuke is on his own mission, as well as the same for Sakura. Sasuke's rank is kind of undecided because it's a bit weird right now, but Tsunade wants to make him a Jonin as well, and Sakura is close to Jonin, but she's like low level Jonin. So Naruto would get serious, saying he's been noticing some things that are actually infuriating him. He doesn't want to talk about his teammates anymore. He wants to talk about the village as a whole. Naruto then says, "Last time I met Haku and hugged her, I felt a lot of scars. And she whispered to me that Danzo is trying to take over. Tell me what happened while I was gone." Tsunade would then sigh, saying, "Danzo's being more ruthless and cautious because of you. Your power is something that defies his very standing in the village. So if he can become Hokage, he still may not be able to hurt you, but he will hurt the people you love more and more. That's all he can do right now." Naruto would then say nothing as he leaves the office, and he just walks around feeling pretty freaking annoyed when he just hears an explosion and a bunch of debris and a bunch of villagers start being sent flying his way. Now, quickly thinking, he enters KCM and uses his chakra hands to catch the villagers and protect them with an ice barrier. He then lays down the villagers, jumping into the air to see what happened, and the ninja and the village will already be like getting into action, going towards where the attack came from, just like Naruto. Akatsuki, these guys are getting on my nerves, says Naruto. He then starts heading for the attackers when in front of him pops up a giant two-headed dog with weird eyes. Get the hell out of my way. From his mouth would then come an ice blast, sending the creature flying into the forest, shocking all the Jonin and Chunin who saw Naruto do this. By the way, if you don't know what I say by ice blast, it's just like wind of ice. I've said it before in the later parts. You'll see what I mean if you go back. But it's just a gust of ice wind, and it is very powerful. So I'm just calling it an ice blast. So from his mouth would come a giant ice blast that sends the creature just flying into the forest, shocking everyone. And Naruto would then start heading towards where he senses the ominous chakra, and he slams down into a crater, sensing and seeing the 6 passive pain ripping out souls of certain shinobi. The main pain would then look at Naruto. You have nowhere to go, Fox. We told you this would happen. Naruto actually met the 6 passive pain. I just wanted to keep that a little secret. It doesn't really matter. When Naruto met Utakasa, he actually had to protect him from the 6 passive pain, saying that they can't go after people like this anymore, but they promised they would go after him, and this is their due. So this is when they're attacking him. Naruto says nothing, just slamming his foot on the ground as ripples of ice are sent flying at the pains, but using Shinra Tensei, the main pain barely disperses this. The members would then split up, and an instant surrounding Naruto, who would make a hand sign, and behind all of them formed giant ice spears, and the ice spears would drive into their heads, killing them. Don't get all cocky, says Naruto. However, the main pain, one of the pains used King of Hell he managed to dodge and uses the King of Hell to heal itself. Meanwhile, the main pain attack Naruto, and they go into a taijutsu battle. And there's still a few pains around, about like 4, I'll say. So the main pain would go to kick Naruto, who catches it, backhanding him to the point where he almost felt his head just rip off. And Naruto is still in KCM mode, so it hurts a lot. Naruto would then punch him hard in the stomach 3 times, making him choke on his own spit, as he would do a fast roundhouse kick, sending him flying into one of the pains that just fixed itself, and one of the pains that the person who could use the King of Hell just fixed. Naruto would then say, maybe you used to be in control, but this is when that changes. Get the hell out of my village. This is when Tsunade would arrive with backup, and she and other ninja like Hinata, Kiba, Shino, etc. see this fight play out. He's got them on the ropes. He might actually win this. However, this is when Naruto gets grabbed from behind from one of the pains, and they start sucking him dry of energy. However, as he does so, the pain just fully explodes everywhere with ice spikes coming out of it. As Naruto cracks his neck smiling, and then he decimates the rest of the pains with ease. Everyone would watch in astonishment, and the main pain even tries to use his chakra rods, Chibaku Tensei. Nothing is working, as Naruto was countering all of it. He destroyed the core of the Chibaku Tensei easily with his Rasen Shuriken, because he's much smarter in this, and he figured it out really fast. And it was a devastating loss for the Akatsuki once again. And once he was done, we see Naruto stab his foot into Yahiko, the main pain's chest, making him explode with ice, and he then pulled out one of the chakra rods in his arms. And then he starts inspecting it with the other ninja, and then while he was doing this, the other ninja got down and asked if everything was okay and if the fight was over. We're good, says Naruto. These guys weren't even that strong. Everyone would then be baffled to hear that, because some of them recognize what the Rinnegan is, and yeah, they're pretty strong, so Naruto was just too strong at this point. And they also took out half the village in one attack, so they're definitely strong, so this is just Naruto. Naruto's still in KCM, then senses the actual enemy out there in the woods somewhere and says, so that's what the rods are for. Also, how am I still in KCM? I actually have more control over it than I thought. He would then jump away, telling everyone that he will be back, and this is exactly, as he leaves, this is when Sasuke actually arrives, and he was like getting through the village arriving, but Naruto took care of all this stuff before he could have a go. By the way, Sakura and Sasuke are back, but you know, yeah. So Naruto would actually go meet up with Nagato, and they have their little talk. However, after Naruto uses his Taku no Jutsu this time, Since he is already so strong, not only does Nagato bring back the few people he killed, which was actually very minimal this time, he made a very important choice. He would have Conan give Naruto both his eyes. And he said, you know what, you can have these and do not let any Akatsuki member have them. Keep them safe. Conan says these exact words. Do not let the other Akatsuki members get their hands on this. Nagato is basically trusting Naruto with everything at this point, and the eyes are a sign of that. Since now they both know they're students of Jiraiya after the little talk, they both know they share that kind of bond, so Nagato is fully trusting Naruto and hoping that his strength will be enough to keep the eyes safe or give to someone trustworthy. So Naruto would then take the eyes, putting them in a scroll, and they're like in a jar in special water, and he puts them in a scroll, and then he seals them there for safety. He would then go back to the village, getting showered with praises and being recognized as the Leaf's hero, and news of Naruto being the leader of the Akatsuki would spread as soon. Actually, no, scratch that. Sasuke and Sakura aren't back yet, but when they arrived, they were a bit horrified at the state of the village. It wouldn't make sense to say that Sasuke got there late. Nah, that's not gonna make sense. I ain't making no weak Sasuke. Sasuke was just on a mission, just like Sakura was. So when they arrived, they were surprised, but Naruto managed to keep everyone safe as expected. However, they were going to help to rebuild it because it was still in bad shape. And at this point, Naruto was getting known as the Ice Emperor due to his abilities because he just had complete control over ice. And even though Haku already had an Ice Kick Genkai, people were also recognizing him for that. Naruto is just the Ice Emperor. And thanks to Haku being way stronger, they actually won against Kakazu and Hidan. It just took a while, which is why they were so far away, because the battle against those two was actually really hard, but they didn't just finish it in one day. They actually retreated a couple times and then came back and beat them strategically, and it was all because of Haku that they only got away with like a few injuries. I'm gonna say that Asuma is pretty badly injured at this one. He's just gonna take a bit of time to recover, but he's not dead. So yay! Yeah, Asuma is okay, but Shikamaru did still have to almost watch him die. So yeah. So it's been about a week since Konoha was attacked, and it's still being fixed. It's pretty good. And we switched to Tsunade as she's in her tent with Shizune at her side. And Tsunade says, I think it's definitely time for a Kage summon, don't you? Shizune would say yes and say, want me to pass on the news, but then she'll be cut off as Haku appears in the tent, kneeling, and she hands over a message from A, the Raikage of the Hidden Cloud, who called for Kage summon himself already. She of course accepts to go to the summons and gets ready to leave as they were going to meet at the Land of Iron. But before she left, she had to take bodyguards, and she chose Naruto and Sasuke because they're the strongest, and they started leaving the village heading for the Kage summit. Naruto using his powers make an iceberg once again, and they ride it out to the destination, and on the way they're of course both on guard. So when they do arrive and all the Kages have gathered, Naruto and Sasuke stand at Tsunade's side, and then Mifune, the boy, the man, the swordsman master, he spoke. And then he said, so Raikage, you started this meeting, but I think we can all agree we were all about to do the same had you not done it. The Akatsuki. A then cuts him off saying, they captured my brother. This time they've gone too far. Tsunade would then say, what do you suggest we do? I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree with you. As you know, they destroyed half our village. A would then say, we need to go to war. We have a more advantage anyway. So they talk about starting war on the Akatsuki, and the Tsuchikage still talks down to Gaara, which Naruto actually tells him off on, saying he's being an immature old man. And Tsunade would then tell him to calm down. Can we all just agree that this organization must be taken down? They all say definitely. However, this is when Madara appears in the middle of the summit saying, war, eh? That's not such a bad idea. Everyone would then get out of guard as A would break through his desk, marching up to the man as he would try to like grab him by the throat, but he just passes right through him. Great, another weirdo, says Naruto. From his side, the man would then be cut by a long icicle as Madara would then look towards Naruto saying, what the? I didn't know he could do long range attacks like this. As he says this though, he goes into the floor just dodging a swing from Sasuke, and he moved too fast for almost even him to detect. Coward, says Sasuke. He would then, A would then smash through the floor heading for Madara as Sasuke jumps out of the way and then him and Naruto also head down because they can't just let him go alone. Tsunade would then let them go, obviously, and they would continue the meeting. Mei would then be interested in these two boys because she's Mei and she's looking for potential suitors also. Just damn, can we just say? Damn, I mean, who wouldn't want that? So, Mei, yeah, she's interested. So, as the boys follow A down, Naruto patches up the ground and then they continue. So, that's the Ice Emperor, says the Tsuchikage. So, of course, the Raikage's men also went down the floor and found Sasuke, just like fighting Madara. They're all just going all out, and Madara is actually barely able to like keep up because of three reasons: Naruto's incredible speed, Sasuke's mastery over chakra, and A's just pure strength. And he just felt overwhelmed. This isn't gonna do. This is when Madara will be pushed back by an ice blast from Naruto. These kids aren't half bad, thinks A. Madara would then say, not bad, but I did not come here today to fight. But I will soon, because I, Madara Uchiha, am declaring war on the nations. He would then start to warp away as the others tried to reach him, but they couldn't and he escaped. They then went back to the conference room to tell the other Kages that Madara Uchiha is back and he's declared war. This news, of course, is very shocking to everyone. The Madara part, not the war part, because honestly, they're ready to fight. But the very idea of someone like Madara being alive was honestly horrifying. But at this point, the nations are just ready for war. But as they return home and everyone is like staying vigilant and like everyone is just going their own way, as Naruto and his company are leaving the Land of Iron and they are close to entering Konoha, they take a break and just start walking on their feet when they're ambushed about the same spot where Sasuke and Danzo would have fought in the original. They see Anbu from like each and every side just surrounding them, and they're just everywhere. Naruto would then tell Sasuke and Tsunade to get back as Naruto then just starts to like freeze over, starting to use his powers, and the entire area in front of them would be frozen in an instant before the enemies could even blink. And then Naruto makes a fist as all the enemies shatter. Naruto then, using Kurama's chakra, says that there is apparently a lot more enemies ahead. Danzo is trying to assassinate you, says Naruto. Tsunade would then facepalm as Sasuke says that he'll handle the next bunch. And so he does, and they keep attacking, moving forward. Tsunade doesn't even have to lift a finger at all. However, soon they come across Danzo, who has an army of Anbu behind him. Tsunade then asks why he's doing this, and he says that he knows he can't beat Naruto or Sasuke, so for his ideals, he's willing to go all out because it's his only option. This little bastard is desperate, says Kurama. Just kill him and be done with it. Naruto would then point at Danzo as behind him he would see all his Anbu members just get frozen and they'll shatter in front of his very eyes. Danzo would then think, at this point his power rivals the Kyuubi. I never stood a chance. I should have killed him back then. In front of them would then appear Sasuke, who would cut his head off and as he does, Danzo actually appears right in front of Tsunade using a Winjutsu to blindside her. Naruto would then yell, what the hell? Sasuke killed him. And Tsunade and Danzo will get into a taijutsu battle as Danzo reveals his disgusting arm covered from inch to inch in Sharingan, and this frustrates Sasuke as well as Tsunade and Naruto because it is just so revolting to look at. So Sasuke interrupts Danzo and Tsunade's fight, slamming his head into the ground, and then using Kirin, he kills him once again, but then he reappears again, trying to kill Tsunade again. However, Sasuke would appear in front of him, about to bare his fangs. Where did you get those eyes? Tell me. Danzo would only laugh, making Sasuke more mad, but then Naruto appears right in front of him as he feels intense pain in his stomach. Those eyes. You were gonna tell us where you got them from, you bastard. Danzo would then be sent flying into the sky as Naruto had just punched him really hard on the stomach, and then Sasuke would appear above him using a lightning stream to slam him right back down into the ground. But before he's actually about to hit the ground, Naruto suspends him in an iceberg thing. He suspends him in an ice block. Tsunade would then be impressed, saying, if I was Danzo, I would just kill myself. Why choose to head to your death like this? How is his conviction that strong? Is he not afraid? Naruto, then controlling the trap iceberg, would then just let out Danzo's arm a little bit, like the arm with the Sharingan on it, and just freaking cut it off, making him scream in pain. And then he froze it, kept it in suspended animation, and Sasuke would then run to him, and hold the arm, crying, just thinking about how much his fellow brethren must have cried as they had their eyes ripped out of their freaking sockets. This is when he would unlock his Mangekyo, shocking everyone. And Sasuke would say, "Naruto, put this away. This is personal." Naruto would then seal away the ice arm and release Danzo as Sasuke and him would fight it out solo, and Sasuke destroys him. Like I said, Sasuke ain't no weakling. I'm not gonna down Sasuke. He actually destroys Danzo in this one. Even with the chance of Danzo blowing himself up, he doesn't care. And getting revenge for his clan is all he had on his mind, so he did get revenge. He destroyed him. And then after this, Naruto walked up to Sasuke, patting him on the shoulder, saying that he had a way to heal his new eyes, which Sasuke didn't even realize he had developed. But then when he notices the bleeding and he feels the pain, he realizes it, and they start heading back to Konoha. They arrive very fast and head into Tsunade's tent, laying down Sasuke, and Shizune and Tsunade would get to work. And Naruto exposes that he has been holding Rinnegan. However, before he could do anything else, Sasuke said that if this was about transplanting his eyes first, he wanted to hold off on that. "You will be in excruciating pain, you know," says Naruto. Sasuke would then say, "I know, but I want Itachi's eyes, or rip them out of his sockets myself. You're fine with that, right?" Naruto would then begrudgingly agree, as he would just seal away the eyes, saying, "Sure, why not? But we do still have to track him down. Then Granny and Shizune can give you the new eyes." Still don't know how that whole thing works, but So Sasuke would instead just have his eyes healed and be like clean, like, you know, of blood. And Tsunade tells him not to use the eyes too much. And she does his best to heal him. And now he has to rest a little bit, because now comes up the subject of war. No one knew what the Akatsuki was planning. So behind the scenes, Yamato still gets captured, and Danzo actually knows of this. And Danzo doesn't know that Orochimaru was going to capture Tenzo, but he was kind of hinting at it because Kabuto and him still kept in touch, but now he's fucking dead, so it doesn't matter anymore, and he's a dumbass. And because of him, a war is going to break out. Coolsies. However, since the impending thought of war is still reaching all the nations, they are getting prepared, they are getting good for whatever may come next, and they're good. War hasn't started yet, though. Sasuke knows what he has to do before the war starts. He has to beat Itachi before anyone else can. So after getting a bit of rest, he would be like ready to go out. But let's hold off on that for now. So soon Haku and a bunch of other ninja would end up fighting Orochimaru using the Edo Tensei, which is weird because his arms as well as his legs should be freaking gone. Meanwhile, back at Konoha, we go to Tsunade in her office as she is trying to tell Naruto to leave the village and go in a certain place and out of the war. Naruto would then yell, "Why the hell would I do that? I'm staying right here and fighting, and you can't stop me. I am literally the biggest asset to the Leaf. I don't need your protection. You need mine." Naruto then storms out as he just is kind of pissed, and as he does, he sees the villagers getting in a bit of panic now that they know that war may be coming, but the adults are trying to call the young people down. And instantly Naruto tries to go find Ayame, and he makes sure that she is safe, and he comforts her. This is around the time that people start getting to battle positions, different quadrants of different nations, and Naruto is told to wait at the village until he is called. He knows they just want him out of the war, but for now he's going to respect their wishes. Besides, he wants to protect the village. But while this is happening, Sasuke would then make plans to finally leave, and he got a message from Itachi's crow, so they was going to finally just throw down. Naruto actually goes with him just for a short period, thinking that, you know, some shinobi can wait and protect the village for a little bit, just for a little bit. He's going to support Sasuke so he doesn't fucking die. And they're going to be Itachi as Sasuke and him have their fight. Now, Naruto watches as they're actually on equal grounds. No, I'm not going to lie. They're on equal grounds for the entire time until Itachi pulls out a Susanoo, and actually so does Sasuke. However, needing to give that ability, his Sharingan, to his brother, he forces his way through, rupturing his organs and making his illness worse. But he still makes it to kill Sasuke. And actually, he doesn't kill him. And just like in the original, Itachi only taps Sasuke on the head, saying goodbye to his loving brother. Naruto would then arrive just as Itachi falls, smiling, and Sasuke would be completely devastated, saying, This doesn't make sense. Why was he smiling? Naruto then saw that Sasuke was clearly shaken up, and he makes his carry him and Sasuke as well as Itachi back to Konoha. When they arrived with Itachi, the shinobi were confused as to what happened, so they contacted Tsunade, who was actually at the hidden cloud right now, because her and A were just, getting stuff together. So using a certain jutsu, I know that there is a jutsu that the Hokage used to go to the sand. I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to say she uses the same thing here. She uses a certain jutsu to return to help Sasuke get Itachi's eyes transplanted. And after she was done, she would step out of like the operating room and see Naruto, who was impatient and kind of pissed. And she just makes this decision on her own. The Raikage will not like this, but honestly, I don't care anymore. We need to have you out on the field. We just do. Naruto would then say, that's what I said. By the way, how did you get here? So Nade would then say it's complicated, but she can't use that jutsu again. And she confirms that Sasuke will be fine. He just needs to rest, like at least 3 days or something, which is very long. So hopefully he can protect it enough until he wakes up. And yeah, so they're gonna leave, and this is when around the time when Zetsus actually have started coming out, so the war is kind of already starting. So yeah, shit. So this is when they're about to leave, but Jiraiya shows up finally, saying that he'll be coming with them because he's been silent for too long. This is when Naruto would actually concentrate, entering Sage Mode, surprising Tsunade, as Naruto does not needed to use Sage Mode until now, but now he's using it, and he would sense all of the freaking anger, sadness, and bloodlust already on the battlefield, just with a few Zetsus popping out. I can't believe you kept me out of this, says Naruto. He would then grab the two and fly into the air using his ice bird as they start heading towards like any area just out of the village. But then they would get in contact with A, thanks to, what's it called? Inoichi, Ino's dad. And the Raikage would be mad that Tsunade says that they can't keep Naruto out of this. They would then say, this is not what we agreed on. We both know why Madara has started this whole war. He just wants to take the tail beast. Tsunade would then say, well then, I guess we're gonna have to trust that things will work out. But we need his help. She would then cut the connection as Naruto is fully out of the village and he hears Ino's father say that he agrees with Tsunade and if he can, he should try to help everybody. Okay, I think I can help with that, says Naruto. He and Kurama would then sync up as he enters KCM, leaving behind Sage Mode, and then he creates thousands of shadow clones that start raining down and just rushing out into different places, spreading out just to stop the impending attack of these Zetsus. And back at their headquarters, Shikamaru's father as well as a bunch of other shinobi would see a bunch of just a ton of chakra signatures appear out of nowhere, and they all seem to stem from Naruto. Are those shadow clones? Wonders Shikaku, which is Shikamaru's father. Naruto would then tell Inoichi and Shikaku that this is a way that he can literally help everyone on the battlefield, and Shikaku thinks this is a good idea. Naruto would then ask where on the battlefield they should be headed out first, and since the Edo Tensei people have already come out and they're attacking already, Inoichi would say that they should go to the sand because there's actually something quite serious that's about to go down, and the sand is pretty far, so they should get a head start. Naruto would then say, alright then, that's our first stop, unless one of my shadow clones gets there first. How will the war play out, and how will Madara's plan play out? And will Sasuke wake up in time? I guess you're gonna have to find out in the next part, because this is where I'm leaving it off. Welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a bit hard to get into the war arc. I'm just trying to make it as fun as possible for you guys, but honestly, I am not good at world building, so this might suck. But I'm going to try not to bore you, because honestly there are parts of the war that are so freaking enjoyable, like Choji finally unlocking his secret clans, like, special ability to just become a freaking badass by losing weight, Shikamaru getting a rematch with that girl, Naruto saving everyone, like a lot of people getting their moments, even Mifune, which honestly is one of his best fights, which I think should have been animated more in the series. I mean, there's a lot of things to put into that part of the arc. I'm just gonna try to do my best to make it work. Same with What If Naruto Was a Hybrid. That one's going to be a doozy because Naruto, as I said before, when he comes back, he won't know everything about his heritage and he will be overpowered. So I'm trying to make that fun. Kind of like how Kage does his videos, because I like the way he goes through war arcs, because he kind of skips over them, but you don't feel like you miss anything important because it makes sense why the war arc partly doesn't happen, because the main character can just finish everything. I'm trying to, maybe I'll get some advice from him. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with anybody else, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.